The Calgary Police Service continues to investigate a home invasion that occurred in the city's northeast last night. At approximately 11:30 p.m. on Sunday, June 26, 2016, police were in the area called to a residence in the 0 to 100 block of Beddington Drive Northeast for reports of an armed home invasion. A man fled the scene prior to police arrival, but he was quickly located nearby. It is believed the suspect took his own life. A man and a woman from inside the residence were taken to hospital with life-threatening injuries. The identity of the suspect remains unknown at this time. The investigation is ongoing, and more information will be released when it becomes available. Anyone with information on this incident is asked to contact police or Crime Stoppers anonymously, if I can answer any questions for you.
Just to clarify, you believe he took his own life? He did or he didn't?
He took his own life,
okay.
Yeah.
Are you investigating this as random, targeted?
Well, we're investigating both at this point. We don't have the identity of the suspect, and we also haven't been able to fully interview the people from inside that house because of their injuries. So we still need to confirm some of that information first.
What's the connection between the suspect and the victims?
We don't have one at this point. We don't know who the suspect is yet. So he didn't have identification, and we need to work through identification records, medical records, to try and determine his identity. So.
Were the two victims relatives?
Or
related in any way?
There were three people inside the residence. I can't say for sure if the two victims were related. I just don't have that info with me.
A little later at night, what about neighbor witnesses, anything like that?
Yeah, so there was one other call in the area shortly before of a suspicious person, which is why our officers were so close to the incident when it happened anyway. So our investigators are talking to all of the neighbors as well as those people to determine if there's a connection or not.
And how were the victims assaulted?
I don't know, and the full investigation of how they were assaulted is still ongoing. Again, we haven't been able to speak to them. So we're just going off what we found at the residence and what we found as far as their injuries, and then we'll wait for the medical work to be done and speak to them fully.
What kind of injuries were they? Were they stab wounds?
I can tell you that that there was a knife involved, but what the injuries are, I'll wait for the kind of the full reports from the medical and from the victims.
On their prognosis status?
The two victims are stable in hospital at this point.
Were there reports of someone, I guess, of a suspicious person in the area prior to this incident?
There was reports of a suspicious person at the door of a residence nearby shortly before, which is what originally brought police into the area and allowed us to be close. That incident was a person that approached the front door of a house. He was confronted by the homeowner. There was some sort of discussion, and that person left. So we're going to determine whether that's the exact same offender that did that, and what he said there, what his intent was, and what exactly was happening.
Okay, so you don't know exactly what he was doing?
No, not at this point. No.
Kind of unusual.
And a big piece of that will be talking to those victims inside the house for sure.
I mean, I know we don't have anybody on the loose, you're not looking for anybody, but, I mean, given that maybe this person was connected, this suspicious person just randomly knocking on doorways and suddenly stabbing two occupants, I mean, what's your level of concern?
Well, I mean, yes, you're right, not knowing whether this is a random or targeted incident at this point, and you're also right, we're not looking for anybody. We believe there's no public safety risk in that area, but anything involving a person's house at night is scary for anybody, and should be concerning. The public can certainly take steps to protect themselves, like locking their doors at night, making sure that there's good sight lines to the street, all that kind of standard home safety stuff that'll help keep them safe.
So was it just the one other door that he knocked on?
That's all we know of at this point. Yeah.
Has this area been known recently to have had prowlings per chance in a way?
I don't have info on that. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know.
Do we have an age on the suspect who committed suicide?
I know he was an adult, but we don't. An age range, 20s or 30s, but that's about all we have at this point.
Can you give some idea, like, how did he kill himself? The suspect?
It was with a knife. Yeah, with a knife, yeah.
Was he known to the police?
Sorry, we don't know who he is yet at this point.